birds who fled India while people were still being pulled out from their burning and blazing nightclub in Goa. Well, the two brothers have now been tracked down, they've been detained, and will now be dragged back home to India. They must face Indian laws and justice. They thought a flight to Thailand could save them. They thought hiding in Thailand could fool the authorities. They thought that they could vanish into a tourist crowd and escape accountability. But this morning, that illusion is now crumbling. The noose has tightened, the dragnet has closed in, because this is Naya Bharat, New India. An India where criminals don't get to negotiate their terms. They have been brought back. They are being made to answer, and they are being made to pay for every life that was lost because of negligence, because of apathy, and what seems to be willful snubbing of existing laws. Well, with that, there is a big update coming in regarding the Goa inferno, the Luthras who have been detained in Thailand, and after that, a high-level huddle is currently underway in which they are going to be figuring out the way forward. In fact, Chief Minister Sawant is holding this meeting, and he is holding this meeting with the state police chief as well as other stakeholders as well. They are discussing what is going to be the further plan of action. Now, this is going to be a high-level meeting which is currently underway even as we speak. Let me go across to Bhavtosh Singh, who is joining us. Bhavtosh, get us the details of this high-level meeting. Pramod Sawant himself is now holding this huddle with the top officials, but you must explain to us, what is the process, the protocols to bring the Luthra brothers back home? Do we need an extradition treaty because we already have notices issued against them? How does it pan out?
Well, as far as their deportation is concerned, they will immediately be deported, but post the legal works that will be completed, yes, India has an extradition with Thailand, which was signed some 50 years back. But what the federal probe agencies have told their counterparts in Thailand is that they are wanted in a crime on which they have ran out from India on an Indian passport, which has been suspended. So for all likelihood, they are wanted for a criminal act in India, which is non-bailable one. Now, they were tracked in coordination with the Royal Thai Police, which is the Interpol designated unit in Thailand. And importantly, a tip-off was given by Central Intelligence Agencies that they were hiding in Phuket. In fact, the fact that their passport was already revoked meant that their biometrics was easily identifiable. Now, once they are already in a deportation center, they will be, in fact, brought back from there and then flown back to India. But the important question is that despite all these efforts by central agencies, will they go scot-free if the Goa police does not investigate this case properly? Because what we have gathered is that not only they are responsible for this tragic deaths of 25 individuals, but these individuals also are involved in shell companies, also illicit money laundering, and also, in fact, for a connivance between police officers and politicians. And they have set up several businesses, not only in Goa, but also across North India.
And in fact, do stay on with us, Bhavtosh. We're going to come back to you for more updates on this. But let's explain how this entire process really led up to the detention of the two brothers. Well, you have the breakup of it on 6th of December, 11:47. That is when the fire broke out. The blaze began at Birch by Romeo Lane, and the owners of it are these two men, the Luthra brothers. And right after that, while bodies were still being pulled out from the burning debris of Birch, you have the Luthra brothers running, fleeing India. They later said, of course, that it is not because of this. They already were meant to fly out, but this is the coincidence. At 5:30 a.m. that very morning, you had the Luthra brothers fleeing to Thailand. This is on a Delhi-Phuket Indigo flight. And look at the irony. This at a time when the Indigo flights were being cancelled left, right and center. They managed to catch the one flight which took off, and they fled to Indigo. Then on 11th of December, Luthra brothers earlier today have been detained. These are the two brothers that you can see on your screens. Remember, as Bhavtosh was telling us, central agencies here gave the tip-off in coordination with the Royal Thai Police. They managed to nab the two brothers who thought that they could hide in the big throngs of crowd of Phuket, but they were caught. But with that, more breaking news which is coming in. Last night, there are now visuals which are coming in. Goa police and authorities doing raids and surprise checks at pubs, at bars across the state, imposing penalty on those who have been found flouting fire safety guidelines. In fact, this has been happening since the last 2 days. There are raids which are being carried out. Chief Minister Pramod Sawant himself has been chairing several meetings. He said there is going to be a crackdown to ensure fire safety norms are not flouted. Let me go across to Rucha. Rucha, tell us about the strict action that the authorities seem to have now, even though it is retrospective. Let's point that out because it is too little too late. They couldn't save the lives of so many which were lost in that horrible inferno which had happened at Birch. But at least now the authorities are waking up.
Well, that's right. Ever since the fire broke out, the Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawant himself, has gone to the ground, inspected the entire area. And since then, various kinds of investigation, various probe is ongoing, and key level meetings are happening. Every day we are seeing the top cops are sitting with the Chief Minister, and the plan of action is being discussed. Even now, a high-level meeting of the chiefs of the police department, the IG, DIG, DGP, all are in communication with the Chief Minister of Goa, and how they now will be proceeding for the further investigation, how they will be able to nab the Luthra Brothers. And it is important to get them to Goa. Now, after the deportation process is done, it is important to see whether they are going to be taken to Delhi, whether they will be produced in Rohini court, or they will be taken directly from the Delhi airport to Goa, because the Goa police is the first authority who had issued circular, lookout circular against the Luthra brothers, and they are wanted by the Goa police. And currently the investigation is underway, how the rest of the partners were also part of this entire fire, who are responsible for this massive fire. And the revelations that we are expecting are also something that everyone is looking forward to, because not only the owners of the club, but there are several people, some big names from the government side are also in this, who have played major role in giving approvals to all those unauthorized constructions.
So you are saying that the crackdown is not just on the fire safety norms, but also the graft which would have left, which the entire trail would have been left behind, which led to as unfortunate an incident that we have seen at Birch. Rucha, do stay on with us, because let's get back to the Luthra brothers now. Yes, indeed, it is going to be endgame, but what next is what we must understand. The entire legal process, what is going to happen from here onwards, is what we are breaking down for you. Well, these two Luthra brothers, they are going to be formally arrested. Remember, they have been detained so far. Next step is to formally arrest them after the paperwork is done. The brothers are then going to be taken to the Phuket airport, from where they are expected to be handed over to the Indian authorities. That is where the handover will happen. From the Royal Thai Police, they are going to be handed across to the Indian authorities. Then the Luthras are going to be brought to Delhi. Delhi is where they had fled from. They are going to be brought back to Delhi. From there, on a transit remark, they are going to be taken across to Goa, because remember, the crime has been committed in Goa and it is within the jurisdiction of the Goa police. Hence, on transit remand, the two brothers are going to be taken across to Goa. With that, more breaking news which is coming in here on Times Now. In view of the recent fire incident in Goa and the increased risk associated with the upcoming festival season of Christmas and the New Year celebration, all the DOs, which are the divisional officers, as well as the ADOs of the Delhi Fire Service, are thereby directed to undertake immediate and thorough fire safety inspections of public assembly premises such as restaurants, hotels, as well as clubs. Remember, this is in Delhi, this is not Goa, but Delhi too wakes up to the looming fear that there may be norms flouted. And ahead of the festive season, the Delhi fire services have cracked the whip. Let me go across to Bhavtosh. Bhavtosh, Delhi's seen its fair share of awful fires, the one which we saw in Karol Bagh earlier a couple of months back, which is why it's important that we take these steps in time.
Yes, Meghna, in fact, the fire department has said that thorough check would be carried out and all licenses would also be checked. And they will also check whether some premises are operating on licenses that have already been lapsed. And if these premises are running on lapsed licenses, then they would immediately be shut. They have also said that they would be checking licenses of all shopping establishment, including licenses of various restaurants, bars, and also other establishment. Now, what has happened in Delhi so far is that Delhi police have been asked not to give licenses to any restaurants, bars, and the entire process now is with the MCD and also with the fire department. So fire department has been told to carry out thorough check of all establishment, whether they are shopping establishment, whether these are eating establishment, or whether they are malls. And these will be carried out by gazetted rank officers who have been who have in fact been told that the checks would be carried out by officers of the rank of inspectors, and these reports should be updated immediately and sent to the headquarters. And this process will go on for at least a fortnight to coincide with the Christmas celebration.
Well, yes, ahead of the Christmas, ahead of the New Year celebrations, Delhi Fire Services have said that we must prepare, we must check everything before the festival season begins. They're going to be conducting regular checks as well, especially fire safety norms. Checks and inspections have been ordered already. Well, let me go across to Bhavna, who's joining us. She is the wife of one of those who could not escape that deadly fire that we saw at Birch. Bhavna, my condolences. But the very small silver lining that I can offer, that those two men who were responsible by willful neglect as it may appear, the Luthra brothers today have been caught. Do you see at least a glimmer of hope that justice will be done, Bhavna?
Hello.
Bhavna? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
The Luthra brothers, Bhavna, have been caught. They fled to Phuket, but they've been caught by the authorities there. Do you hope justice will be done?
Yes, ma'am. I want justice.
Do you think we are on the right step that the Luthra brothers have been caught? They fled to Phuket. At least वहाँ पर उनको पकड़ लिया गया.
मैम उनको पकड़ा है, मगर ये छूटने नहीं चाहिए. बस इनको बेल नहीं मिलनी चाहिए किसी भी तरीके से, किसी भी हाउ एनी कॉस्ट इनको बेल नहीं मिलनी चाहिए मैम. इनको मतलब सख्त से सख्त सजा मिलनी चाहिए मैम. मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, बस इनको सजा मिलनी चाहिए. इनको इनके कर्मों की सजा मिलनी चाहिए. इतने लोगों को इन्होंने मारा है, इनको इनके कर्मों की सजा बिल्कुल मिलनी चाहिए मैम.
वो लूथरा ब्रदर्स ने कोर्ट को बोला था जब उन्होंने अपील की थी एंटिसिपेटरी बेल, जो कि उनको नहीं मिली. तो यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट, इनको बेल नहीं मिलनी चाहिए. मगर उन्होंने बोला था कि हम तो दिल्ली में रहते हैं, हमारे मैनेजर वहां पर चलाते हैं, वो हमारी गलती नहीं थी.
तो मैम मैनेजर चलाते, जो अंदर सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशंस है वो कौन देखेगा? वो ऑनर ही देखता है ना मैम. जब वो अंदर थोड़ा इस तरीके से चल रहा है, वहाँ पे कोई लाइसेंस नहीं है, गैर कानूनी तरीके से वो चल रहा है, उसको ऑनर कुछ नहीं करेगा. वो क्या पैसा खाने के लिए बैठा है मैम वहाँ पर वो?
जी, आपको लगता है कि अभी जस्टिस होगा? उनको पकड़ तो लिया है, ये तो भाग गए थे फुकेट में, अभी पकड़ लिया है, बोल रहे हैं कि आज रात तक वापस आएंगे. आपको तभी तसल्ली होगी जब वो इंडिया वापस ले आए?
बिल्कुल मैम, बिल्कुल बहुत तसल्ली होगी. इनफैक्ट अभी मुझे न्यूज मिली थी कि उनको पकड़ा गया है, उसमें भी मुझे बहुत राहत मिली है. लेकिन अब ना ये छूटने नहीं चाहिए. बस आप लोग मेरे को अपने ये गवर्नमेंट से ना ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि ये छूटने नहीं चाहिए मैम. इनको किसी भी तरीके से बेल नहीं मिलनी चाहिए. बस
इन्होंने बेल मांगी थी, गए थे कोर्ट कि हमें एंटिसिपेटरी बेल दे दीजिए, मगर कोर्ट ने भी दिया नहीं उनको, क्योंकि ये एक डर है कि वो अगर निकल जाए, छूट जाए तो फिर से भाग जाए, या हो सकता है कुछ दबा दे एविडेंस.
कोई भरोसा नहीं किया जा सकता. जिस तरह से वो रातों रात वहाँ से इंडिया छोड़ के बाहर चले गए, लोगों को फ्लाइट नहीं मिल रही है मैम. इतने परेशान हुए. मेरी फैमिली वाले कितनी मुश्किल से आए हैं मैम, मेरे परिवार वालों को रहने के लिए. मैं जानती हूँ मैम कितने लोग कितनी परेशानियों से फ्लाइट, उनको इतनी परेशानियों से फ्लाइट मिल रही है, लोगों की डिले हो रही है, कैंसिल हो रही है. इनको इतनी आराम से कैसे मिल गई? कुछ घंटों में ये इंडिया से बाहर चले गए, वो भी इंडिगो से मैम, जो कि वहाँ पे इतना ज्यादा बुरा हाल है इंडिगो का.
बिल्कुल, आपने ठीक बात बोली. 1 बजे के अराउंड तो तब फायर चल रही थी, 5:30 बजे तक तो उनको फ्लाइट भी लेके वो निकल गए थे इंडिया से.
मैम मैं और जो लोकेशन थी वो उस स्पॉट पे मैम 4 बजे तक मैं खड़ी थी, जिससे मैं 4 बजे तक मैं वहाँ तक मैं सबसे मदद मांगती रही। और ये जो ऑनर है वो बताओ फ्लाइट पकड़ के आउट ऑफ इंडिया निकल गए। आप ये देखिए ना, वहाँ पे तब तक आग की लपटें निकल रही थी, 5 बजे तक आग की लपटें ऐसे निकल रही थी।
उस टाइम पे क्या हो रहा था जिस टाइम पे ये लोग भाग गए थे इंडिया से? उस टाइम पे आप वहीं थे? तब क्या बॉडीज निकाली जा रही थी? तब तक आग भी बुझी थी कि नहीं, उसके पहले ही भाग गए भावना जी?
मैम आग बुझी नहीं थी, उससे पहले भाग चुके थे, बॉडीज निकाली जा रही थी वहाँ से। 5 बजे तक तो मैं खुद वहाँ थी, 4 साढ़े 4 5 बजे तक तो मैं खुद वहाँ पे पुलिस से, वहाँ की गवर्नमेंट से बस हेल्प मांगती रही, सबके आगे गिड़गिड़ाती रही, बस इधर से उधर भागती रही, बोलती रही कि मेरे 4 लोग अंदर हैं, आप उन्हें बचाइए बचाइए। मैम किसी ने कोई सुनवाई नहीं की, सब लोग बस इग्नोर करके जा रहे थे। वहाँ के मिनिस्टर लोग इग्नोर कर रहे हैं, वहाँ की पुलिस इग्नोर कर रही है। किसी ने आकर के मुझे एक बार भी नहीं पूछा कि मैम आप ठीक हो, आप तो इंजर्ड नहीं हो, आपको तो कोई इंजरी नहीं आई, आपके बाकी लोग कितने लोग अंदर रह गए हैं। मेरे हस्बैंड का कंटिन्यूसली फोन लग रहा था, मैंने उनको बोला कि मेरे हस्बैंड का फोन ट्रैक कीजिए, वो पता लगा कि वो अंदर है या बाहर है। वो कहते अंदर कोई टूरिस्ट ही नहीं है, सब लोग टूरिस्ट आ चुके हैं। मैंने कहा टूरिस्ट अंदर कैसे? मैंने कहा मेरे आंखों के सामने कितने लोग फंसे हैं अंदर, कैसे बात बोल रहे हो? मैं उनसे आगे थी, मैं निकल गई, मेरे पीछे के लोग कितने सारे अंदर फंस गए, आप कैसी बातें कर रहे हो? मैंने अपने आंखों से देखा है। मैं कहा मेरे पीछे से लोग ही नहीं आए, बहुत कम लोग आए, कुछ गिनती के लोग आए बाहर, और आप बोल रहे हो कि 25 लोगों की जाने गई है। मैम कम से कम 100 लोगों की जाने गई है।
12 बजे आग लगी थी, उन्होंने टिकट भी बुक किया भावना जी। जब ये सब चल रहा था, आप बोल रहे हैं कि आपके मदद के लिए भी कोई नहीं आया। 1:17 पे 117 पे इन्होंने अपने टिकट बुक कर लिए थे। इनकी प्रायोरिटी ये नहीं थी आपकी मदद करने के लिए, इनकी प्रायोरिटी ये थी कि हम टिकट बुक करें।
बिल्कुल नहीं, उन्होंने, क्योंकि उनकी गलती है ना, उनको पता है कि वो गलत है, तभी तो भागे मैम। अगर वो गलत नहीं होते, अगर उन्होंने प्रिकॉशंस फॉलो किए होते, वहाँ के प्रोटोकॉल्स फॉलो किए होते मैम, तो ये हादसा होता ही नहीं। छोटी सी आग थी, माइनर से आग थी, ये तो हर कहीं थोड़ा बहुत हर कहीं हो जाता है मैम, ये तो नेचुरल चीज है। बट उसको सेफ्टी के लिए भी तो कुछ प्रोटोकॉल्स फॉलो किए जाते हैं ना। वहाँ पे ना कोई फायर अलार्म था, ना कोई वहाँ पे गैस बुझाने, वो आग बुझाने का ना तो कोई अरेंजमेंट था, ना तो वहाँ के कोई स्टाफ ने कोई मदद करी, ना उन्होंने कोई आग बुझाने की कोई मदद करी। बस वो अपनी जान बचा रहे। पहले स्टाफ वाले अपने टीम वालों को लेके जा रहे हैं, म्यूजिशियन की टीम को लेके जा रहे हैं, डांसर्स को बचा रहे हैं, बाकी आम जनता को तो उन्होंने ऐसे उनके हाल पे छोड़ दिया। जो बचे अपने एफर्ट्स से बचे, जो नहीं बच पाए वो वहीं रह गए।
आप भी बहुत ही मुश्किल से बची थी।
बहुत मुश्किल से मैम, मैं धक्का मुक्की से बिल्कुल, कैसे
स्टैम्पीड हो गया था वहां पर, क्या चल रहा था?
सॉरी,
स्टैम्पीड हो गया था क्या? धक्का मुक्की आपने बोला कि आप भी बहुत मुश्किल से बची।
बिल्कुल मैम, बहुत धक्का मुक्की हो गई थी, बल्कि जो कोई एग्जिट, वहाँ पे कोई भी इमरजेंसी एग्जिट डोर नहीं था। मैं जिस डोर से जो एंट्री डोर था वही एग्जिट डोर था। वहाँ पे लोग बिल्कुल ब्लॉक हो गए थे, फंस गए थे वहाँ पे, क्योंकि इतनी भीड़ थी कि इतना क्राउड था कि लोग बाहर ना अंदर जाए ना बाहर, बिल्कुल फंस गए थे उस जगह पर। तो बिल्कुल कैसे किस तरह से पुश, जोर से किसी ने पुश किया, कुछ लोग आगे गिरे, किसी को किसी तरह से इंजरी हुई। मेरे आगे एक लड़की ने मुझसे बोला कि मैम प्लीज मुझे देखो, मेरा फेस जल गया, किसी के पैर में चोट लगी है, कोई ऐसे जूते बिना जूतों के भाग रहा है, बस गिरते पटकते लोग भागे हैं मैम। बस ऐसे क्या नजारा मैम, मैं क्या बताऊँ आपको।
बहुत बुरा लग रहा है आपने जो बोला, क्योंकि आपने इतनी क्लियरली समझाया कि वहां पर आपने क्या देखा। और उसी टाइम पे जब ये सब चल रहा था, 117 पे लूथरा ब्रदर्स ने अपने टिकट्स बुक किए। भावना जी, आपने बहुत बड़ी बात की कि इनको पता था कि इनकी गलती है। अगर लगता कि गलती नहीं है, उन्हें भागने की जरूरत नहीं थी। उन्होंने कॉल नहीं किया पता करने की आपकी क्या हालत है।
के लिए आते मैम, बिल्कुल मदद करने के लिए आते, और वो भाग गए।
That's what they did. वो भाग गए। जैसे भावना जी बोल रही हैं, इफ देयर वाज नो मिस्टेक, तो फिर उन्हें भागने की क्या जरूरत थी? और भावना जी, 117 और आग लगी थी 12 बजे के करीब।
बिल्कुल मैम, ये 11:45 के आसपास आग लगी है।
11:45 पे आग लगी
ना, इस आग को मतलब फैलने में मुश्किल से 2 से 3 मिनट लगे मैम। 2 से 3 मिनट में सब कुछ तबाह हो गया। 5 मिनट के अंदर तक पूरा हॉल जल गया था मैम। आगों की लपटें नीचे गिर रही थी, आधे लोग तो धुएं से ही मर गए मैम। हार्डली 10 to 15 मिनट में धुएं से, क्योंकि इतना जहरीला धुआं था वो, सारा अंदर काला धुआं बिल्कुल। मैम इतना जहरीला धुआं में कोई इंसान चीख भी नहीं पा रहा होगा, किसी के मुंह से आवाज भी नहीं निकल रही होगी। मेरे अंदर भी वो धुआं गया, मैं नहीं चीख पाई, मैं कुछ देख नहीं पाई। मेरे आंखों के आगे बस ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैं भी मरूंगी, मैं भी नहीं बचूंगी।
बट भावना जी, टुडे लूथरा ब्रदर्स को पकड़ लिया गया। आप क्या चाहती हैं इसके बाद क्या हो? क्योंकि वो तो बोल रहे हैं उनकी गलती नहीं है, वो भाग गए थे, 1 घंटे में वो भाग गए थे, मगर वो बोल रहे हैं कि वो उनकी गलती नहीं थी। आप क्या अपील करना चाहेंगे कोर्ट को और सरकार?
क्यों? अगर उनकी गलती नहीं थी तो वो भागे क्यों? उनको वहाँ आगे लोगों की जान बचानी चाहिए थी। अपने स्टाफ को पहचानने से वो इनकार कर रहे हैं, और वो भागे क्यों? अगर गलती नहीं थी वो भागे क्यों? फिर अगर गलती नहीं थी तो
भागे क्यों थे अगर गलती नहीं थी? योर हस्बैंड हैव मैनेज्ड टू सेव। और आपने बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज बोली भावना, बिकॉज आपके जो पति थे 3 बहनों को बचाने के लिए वापस गए थे और उन्होंने अपनी जान लगा दी बाकियों को बचाने के लिए। बट लुक एट दीज 2 brothers, the Luthra brothers who fled, leaving people in that blazing inferno. Thank you so much, Bhavna ji, हमारे साथ बनने के लिए. Heartbreaking as those stories are, these are the fresh visuals which are coming in of the detention of the Luthra brothers. Remember, the Luthra brothers now must face law. They fled India 1.5 hours after that blaze happened. They booked themselves a flight, an Indigo flight, the irony of it all, at a time when no one else could get flights to fly on, especially not Indigo. But the Luthra brothers managed to get an Indigo flight and they fled to Phuket, thinking that they can escape the law's hands. However, now they have been caught. These are the next set of exclusive visuals that Times Now is getting for you. The entire process which is there. Gaurav and Saurabh Luthra that you can see on your screens there with the officials. Remember, it is the Royal Thai Police who have managed to nab them in coordination with the Indian agencies. They gave a tip-off as to where they are expected to be hiding in Phuket. And now you have the 2 brothers being detained. Very shortly, we expect that process of arrest also to happen, to hand over an arrest. And let me hand it over to Siddharth with that. Siddharth, the next big step is to bring them back. And Bhavtosh Singh tells us that maybe as soon as later on tonight.
Absolutely, Meghna. So the visuals that we see on our screens are Thai authorities, of course, speaking to the Luthra brothers in what appears to be their hotel room. Because you can see the shower in the background, you can see a crumpled bed as well and a television set. So this is presumably their hotel room in Phuket, where they were eventually traced. And you can see one Thai policeman at the very least trying to speak to the Luthra brothers. Now, India does have an extradition treaty with Thailand that dates back to 2015. It's been in operation for almost 10 years. And therefore, one can expect the entire deportation process now to be quite smooth as far as these 2 brothers are concerned, who, remember, fled within minutes of the fire in Goa and managed to flee to Phuket. They've been tracked down. The authorities in India have been quite persistent, even, of course, initiating the process of the cancellation of their passports as well. Let me go across to Bhavtosh for more on this. Bhavtosh, the visuals that we see on our screens right now are of the Thai police speaking to the Luthra brothers in what appears to be their hotel room, and it seems to be quite a swanky hotel room at that. These 2 brothers are not short of any financial resources. They've hired lawyers back in India to plead the case on their behalf, and they've been tracked down to their hotel room in Phuket. Take us through the details, Bhavtosh.
Yes, Siddharth, in fact, these are the visuals which show that they are being taken out of the hospital, or at least their formal paperwork are being completed. And you can see that once this deportation process will be completed, the 2 brothers will be taken to an isolated area, and from there they will be shifted to a place where the Indian embassy officers from Bangkok, along with the embassy officials from Bangkok, along with the Goa police and some officials from the Central Intelligence Agencies and Federal Probe Agency will accompany them to Goa, or for that matter to Mumbai, and then from there to Goa, where the crime has taken place, because the investigation as far as this case is concerned is with the Goa police. Now, that process will be completed because the law enforcing agency of the prosecution as far as this case is concerned is Goa. What has happened in past 4 days is that they managed to flee because they knew, or someone tipped them off, that there is an FIR that will be registered against them under various sections of culpable homicide, and then they fled from the country, and in a very audacious manner, or in one can say in a very criminal manner, they filed for their anticipatory bail application, claiming that they feared and they had a threat on their life, and subsequently that hearing took place yesterday. They also claimed that they went ahead and claimed that the brothers went there for a business purpose, but the Goa police demolished that myth, or they claim, by saying that they booked the ticket around 1 a.m. or post 1 a.m. Through a ticketing platform. Now, the agencies were tracking their movement, and they tipped off the Royal Thai Police, the federal federal agency in Thailand, which is the designated Interpol agency, tipped them off, and they were there was a raid that happened, the visuals of which we put out just few minutes back, and both of them were picked up from there and then taken to a police station in Phuket, where Isha is reporting from there. Yes. And both of them, their identification was done, though their passport has been suspended, and once that formality is completed, they will be brought back to India. The question now is, will the Goa police build a strong case against them? Because we know they are well connected, they have connections, they have money, muscle power, and it could be possible that they can influence the witnesses and also destroy the evidence as far as this case is concerned.
Right, Bhavtosh, stay with us. Let me also go across to Rucha, who brings us some more updates pertaining to the investigations in this matter. Rucha, it could now only be a matter of time before these two brothers return to India and face the law. And one hopes that there'll be a very stringent application of the law against them. What's the information now emerging about when they might actually return? Now, Bhavtosh did tell us it could be as early as tonight, but is there any timeline? What can you tell us about the details?
Well, there's a lot of movement going on within the government, within the Goa police. We are currently reporting from Goa's Mantralaya in Panjim, where we are expecting some very big decisions, plan of action coming from the Goa police, and the Home Minister of Goa, which happens to be the Chief Minister Pramod Sawant himself, is chairing some key meetings with the big corps of Goa, IG, DGP, DIG. A lot of senior corps are in communication with the Chief Minister, and ever since the incident has taken place, the Goa police were in constant communication with the Luthra Brothers, but despite the chain of communication, they managed to fly away. Now, the inquiries, multiple inquiries are going on. The partners are being contacted, and Romeo Lane is not a small chain, but it spreads across nation. All the partners, all those managers are being contacted by the Goa police. They are being questioned how they got to know about the fire. In fact, when we spoke with some of the big corps of Goa police, they informed us that at 11:55 p.m., right after the fire, the owners were informed that such incident has taken place, and after that, at around 1:17 a.m. On 7th of December, the brothers immediately booked flight to Phuket. While there were people struggling for their lives, their own staff was suffocating in the basement of the kitchen. The brothers, the owners, were planning their Thailand trip, and it is now being investigated that who all helped them within the government, whether there was anyone within the police force or someone from the club is the one who helped them, who tipped them off to move from the country as they were about to get in some big trouble that they were informed about. They immediately booked the flight through Make My Trip and left the country, and now they are being brought here. And importantly, more names are expected in this case, because the probe is not only limited to the owners of the club, but also some of the people from the government authorities who helped them get approvals in the licensing, and many more.
All right, Rucha and Bhavtosh, we'll keep coming back to you for more updates as, of course, we await the return of the Luthra brothers to face the law here in India. Who tipped them off? Well, that should also be within the ambit of the investigation, because those who facilitated them fleeing India also need to be looked into. We'll take a short commercial break right now. We'll continue our coverage of this and much more on the other side.